Hey guys, my name is Colin. I'm coach of the San Antonio Espurrs for PBAL Season 2. This is week 4 and I'm fighting Xilicks, coach of the Detroit Torracats. He is a good friend of mine. He is, if I remember correctly at the time, 2-2. And I kind of really needed to win this, or he was 2-1 at the time. Sorry, my memory sucks sometimes. But he was 2-1. I needed to win this game because I was currently 1-2 and I needed to catch up in my division and my conference. He's not a divisional opponent, rather he's a conference opponent, and he has a pretty scary team, consisting of Zygarde 50%, Sylveon, Metagross, Infernape, Tangrowth, Vaporeon, Swallow, Alolan Persian, Claydol, Mega Arrow, and Raichu. And versus my team, the biggest threat was 100% Mega Aerodactyl along with Zygarde 50, because my team absolutely hates ground coverage, and I had to prep very hard for those two. But I'm just going to show off the team I brought first, because we already showed it before, and I know we're probably going to end up fighting again, potentially in playoffs. But I already showed it to him, so there's no point in just showing it here. We have a Dragonium Z Garchomp with Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Ironhead, Swords Dance. Also, my nicknames are Undertale. I am a massive nerd, just putting that out there. The idea with this is bait his... I'll actually get to Amon later, but... The whole idea was to lead with this 100% expecting to lead with a Choice Scarf or Choice Banded Infernape. Scout the item and then just get off a massive hit on something. Or just to switch if I fear he might have HP Ice. But this coverage pretty much nails his whole team, barring potentially Tangrowth if I can't play around it correctly. The Speedy Vs, if I remember correctly, are for Zygarde 50%. Because Dragon Claw, I believe, does at least 70%. Can't remember off the top of my head. We have a free agent I picked up, or a trade I traded with Skyrander, coach of the Scandinavia Stoutlands, with in Jirachi Sands. I think it's pretty fitting. Holding a Shuckle Berry, so this way it actually is a hard way to 100% beat Zygarde 50, and actually Mega Aerodactyl if it comes down to it. Ironhead, Icy Wind, Wish U-Turn. I was thinking of like a Wish Protect set or a Wish Thunderwave set. But I realized, okay, I 100% need a U-turn if I'm not going to get walled by something, or if I just want a little bit of chip off later on something. The Speedy Vs, once again, are for Zygarde 50%, and this is a weird spread, but it kind of makes sense. With this spread, Ironhead guaranteed kills Mega Aerodactyl after Rocks, I believe, and Icy Wind guaranteed does... I forgot the exact damage. I think this is a 100% kill on Zygarde 50. I cannot remember right now, because I don't have the calcs right in front of me, and then the remaining is just remainder HP investment. And, I'm not going hasty for obvious reasons, being that I 100% needed the defense stat for Arrow and Zy50. We have the actual free agent I picked up this week in Muffet the Weavani. Leaf Blade, Exeter, Sticky Web, Steel Wing. Steel Wing is literally just for the memes for the Sylveon. Because I was like, I didn't know what fourth move to do. I was thinking maybe like a Toxic or a knockoff. But I saw I got Steel Wing, which I completely forgot about. I was like, I have to do this. Enough EVs for, I believe it's an Adamant Zygarde 50, in case he tried going around that route. Max attack, and then just HP stuff. Pretty self-explanatory, just supposed to be a web setter if I need them. Dr. Alfie is the Pylo Swine with Ice Shard, Icicle Spear, Earthquake, Rocks. Excuse me. I go Icicle Spear over Icicle Crash because I actually thought a sub-Zygarde might make sense this game. If he tries this up against something like a Mantine or a Scarfrachi and Ironhead, if he has the investment for that. And the other moves are just self-explanatory. I think this is so I can guarantee live 2 Banded Arrows from Zy50. Might be wrong on that. I don't know for sure. We have Metatiny X. This is such a lame name, but I love it. Skull, Toxic, Sub, Roost. This entire thing was meant to beat his Tangrowth Vaporeon core, which I honestly fully expected to see here, because I knew how threatening they were. The spread, I believe, allows me to guarantee take a Giga Drain behind his substitute, and this way I just wall out his defense if need be. I know this flat out loses just like Raichu, which personally I didn't expect, but as you saw at the very beginning, or as you'll see in a minute, he actually did opt to bring it. Which is the why we go Conberries there, also for the Infernape, so I guarantee take that Thunder Punch and kill it back with Scald. And then we have Toriel, my Tapu Koko, second Shuckleberry, the team Double Dance, Thunderbolt, Gleam. This is enough speed for a... I can't remember what the speed is for off the top of my head. It's obviously something base 125, I just forgot what it was. Thunderbolt Gleam honestly just hits his team really hard. And Double Dance is just on the off chance I actually get that opportunity. And I have the Shuckleberry, so I guarantee to live a hit from Aerodactyl, bait it to click Earthquake, and I guarantee to live a Stone Edge, barring a crit of course, and take it out with Thunderbolt, because I want that arrow dead immediately. But the team aside, this is what I decided to bring. You decided to bring Infernape, Mega Arrow, Claydol, which I was somewhat expecting, somewhat not. Zygarde 50%, Tangrowth, and Raichu. I was gonna say Alolan Raichu, it's on my team. Now, looking at matchup, my game plan was guaranteed to lead Garchomp, knowing he would 100% lead Infernape, trying to bait out my Weavani's webs and get damage off on it. Without further ado, I'm just going to get started, though. I picked a Necrozma version 1. That is a solid theme, in my opinion. As you can see, he decides to challenge me. We'll see how this goes. Went off with Azrael Chomper. I was trying to spell it correctly, but unfortunately that was not happening. He's going off with Wukong, his Infernape, and turn 1, I am 100% going Mantine on this thing, knowing he clicks U-turn. My thought process here is, if he clicks U-turn, I know he's Scarfed. If he hard switches, I know he's not, and expects me to be Scarfed. So he actually goes to the U-turn. That tells me he's most likely a Scarf Infernape. And I am fine having that knowledge this early on. So he's going to go into Gorochu the Raichu, which I'm honestly fine with, because at this point in time, I'm just going to go hard into my Weavani, knowing if he clicks HP Ice or he clicks Fly, good on him. But at this point, I was just going to go into my Weavani, and he actually decides to click Fake Out. I don't quite get the play, but I kind of understand they expect me to go into my Dr. Elfies. But what I do here is I have a feeling he's going to try going for HP Ice, trying to get this thing out of the way so it can't do damage to this, so he can keep it on for my Coco. So what I decided to do is I actually click Leaf Blade, expecting him to bait me to not go for the kill, so I just get off a nice Leaf Blade on him. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go hard into my Piloswine on the off chance he clicks Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. Or if it goes for HPS, I take minimal damage and it just goes down to Life Orb. As you can see, he decided to actually go for Thunderbolt. I don't like the play personally, but it allows my Piloswine to get a kill, so it's all fine by me. So he's going to go into his Tangrowth here. I fully expected this to happen. What I do here is I believe I decide to sack off my Weavani, knowing that it doesn't really have much use in this game, aside from maybe beating out Claydol. But he goes for the knockoff. I actually didn't know if this would kill me, but it does, which is fine. So it's just 5-5, about 6 turns in. So I'm just going to go into my Mantine. And I'm going to bait out a Leech Seed, which is why I honestly think he clicks here, and I'm just going to go for a Substitute. And right here, I'm just going to click, he goes for Leech Seed as I expected, and I'm going to click Toxic here. Just because I want this Tangrowth out of my way as soon as I possibly can, because it stops my Garchomp and it stops my Coco potentially. So we have a Poison Tangrowth in our hands. He's actually just going to go for a knockoff. At the time, I was kind of confused as to why this broke my sub, but then I realized, like the dum-dum I am, I didn't account for the Conberry. So I'm just going to click Roost here, I'm going to bait out his knockoff, because after he goes for a knockoff, unless he has Rock Slide or Hidden Power Electric, this thing cannot break my sub. So he goes for that knockoff, is going to take out my Conberry, and I am 100% clicking Substitute here. As he actually decides to switch to avoid letting the Stallfest continue any further. He opts to go into Quartz Raining his Zygarde 50%. At this point in time, I'm just going to go for a sub into a Roost, because I knew he was just going to go for some 1,000 arrows to break my sub. So that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to go for 1,000 arrows trying to break my Substitute, as he actually does, and I'm going to go for a Roost here. Now, I believe on this turn, I go into my Piloswine. I'm trying to scout if this thing is Choice Banded. We'll see if I'm right. But I go for the Roost, just trying to get my health back, which honestly is fine with me. I go into Alphys the Piloswine, as he's just going to go for another 1,000 arrows. And for a defensive Piloswine, that does quite a lot. And that 100% tells me he is Choice Banded. I can't remember if he was Adamant or Jelly. Regardless, I disagree with the play made here. He actually stays in on my Ice Shard. He actually just goes for a second 1,000 arrows. Why I disagree with that is because that puts him guaranteed in range of Coco and Rachi in case he was defensively invested. So he's going to switch out into his Tangrowth here, Spaghetti. I'm just going to go for a second Ice Shard. It was a no drawback play at this point in time. It's going to do about 0. But it's going to take Poison Chip, which I'm perfectly fine with. At this point, I'm pretty much expecting this to be Helmet. So what I do here is I just go back into my Mantine. Yeah. And I think he goes for a Giga Drain? No, he goes for a Leech Seed. Okay, so he goes for the Leech Seed. My Mantine is seeded, but why this does, it's not as bad. I can't remember if I stayed or went into Rachi. It's been a while since I've watched this game. Why can I not remember this? Okay, so I'm going to go into my Jirachi here, knowing at this point in time that... Oh, I go into my Garchomp. Oh, I know what I did here. I went into my Garchomp expecting him to go into a Zygarde 50. That's what happened. I went into this expecting to go into Zygarde 50, baiting me to just go for a Scald, or just going for something else and him getting a massive hit on something else. So what's going to happen here is he's going to go into his Claydol, knowing he can take any 3 hits from this thing. Reels a nice shiny coloration. I'm just going to go for a Dragon Claw. I'm going to do about, I want to say it's around 40%, but he's going to get leftovers recovery. So I'm just going to burn my Z move now, because I think at this point I'm fine letting it go. I have other ways to beat this Tangrowth, especially now that it's poisoned. So I just guaranteed get off this nice Z Dragon Claw, as you're going to see this beautiful animation. Show him the devastating Drake. Look at that beautiful animation. And unfortunately, though, he actually lives on about 20%, as he's going to go for his rocks. And I have absolutely no way of getting rid of them, so these hazards are up for the remainder of the game. Honestly, it's not that big of a problem, because Mantine's my only other rock weakness left, and it's not as necessary in this game. So I'm just going to take off this Claydol with a nice Dragon Claw, and that is going to be a Mon. And I believe here he goes... Yeah, he's going to go into Petri, which is Mega Aerodactyl. He would not have sent this in if it did not have Ice Fang, so I'm just going to go hard into my Jirachi. Or, no, I go into my Mantine trying to sack it. Yeah. I go into Mantine knowing this thing really doesn't have much use left in this game, so I'm going to go into it and just sack it off to the Arrow. He is going to show off that nice Mega Evolution with his Mega Bracelet and or Mega... or Keystone, I can't remember what you get in this game. And he's just going to click Ice Fang, as I figured he had. Numb. He actually gets a freeze, which is honestly kind of funny. It doesn't matter whatsoever, but at the very least I know he wasted his luck now. So I believe here I go into my Rachi trying to bluff a Choice Scarf and trying to get this thing out of my face immediately before it becomes too big of a threat. As I'm just going to click Iron Hit here because it's honestly a no drawback play based on what he has left. He's going to go into his Tangrowth, and I'm just going to click Iron Head, as I am actually going to reveal his item to be Rocky Helmet. It does about 0, but I take some Rocky Helmet damage, which is honestly fine, because I do have Wish in the back in case it comes down to it. Because I believe that's actually what I click here. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Wish, expecting him to go for Knockoff or Leech Seed. And the other, and he's going to go for one this turn and one the next. He just goes for that Leech Seed, just trying to get health on me. Which... actually comes to help me later on, as you'll see in a few turns. I believe it's around 2 or 3 turns from now. But I'm just going to be clicking buttons, as I'm just going to go for an Iron Hit here. I'm going to do a decent chunk. About 5%. Because he's going to go for the knockoff here, getting rid of my Shuckleberry. Which is honestly fine, because I still have my Coco, which has a Shuckleberry in the back. Now, I believe it's this turn where I was realizing, okay, Rachi's going to end up going down either in the next few turns, and I don't think this is doing as much damage as I want, so I think it was this turn or next turn. Is it this one? Yeah. What he did is he went into his Zygarde 50 expecting me to click Iron Head so he could get more Leech Seed back and be in better shape. I make a hard play and just go for Icy Wind. And I picked the perfect turn to click that. So I go for the Ice Wind. Zygarde 50 is down, and that makes me incredibly happy. And honestly, this one, it was a no drawback play based on what he had left. If he went Arrow, he was taking an Iron Head. If he went Infernape, his Scarf was null and void. I went into my Garchomp and just got damage off, or even Coco. But he's gonna, I'm gonna suck off my Jirachi to the Mega Aerodactyl's Earthquake. At this point, I don't really see it as that useful. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go into Tapu Koko, and at this point he was telling me afterwards he expected me to be Scarf, which is the only reason I would send this in. But I'm going to show him exactly what he's dealing with here, and I'm going to click Thunderbolt, and this thing is, I'm going to eat up my Shuckleberry. Nom nom nom, that is yummy. I actually tanked that Earthquake quite nicely. I'm just going to take this thing out with a nice Thunderbolt. And Aerodactyl's down. The two biggest threats to my team are out of my way. Last one is Infernape. Excuse me there. He's going to go into Wukong the Infernape, and I have absolutely no reason not to sack this right now. So I'm just going to click Thunderbolt. As he actually goes for a U-turn expecting me to switch, I can respect the play, honestly, but it didn't work out for him. But I have no reason here not to just click Thunderbolt on things. He's going to go into his Spaghetti, which is going to be taking a hard Thunderbolt to the face. Num num num, it eats that. He's going to be taking some poison damage, and what's going to happen here is I'm going to click it again. I actually go for Dazzling him this time because it does more. It actually lives on a small amount of health, as he just goes for the kill with the Giga Drain, which is honestly fine by my set. So what I do here is I'm just going to go into my Garchomp, because at this point I've guaranteed myself winning this game. I go into Garchomp, and I'm 100% confident now that his Infernape is Scarf based on how to outspend my Koko. So I'm going to be clicking Earthquake here. I was not risking Infernape coming in and getting a counter sweep against me, or this doing it. And I did the calcs. Nothing Infernape can do aside from a crit can kill my Garchomp. And if he did crit me, I'd be very sad. So I go into my Infernape, and I'm just going to take this thing out right now with an Earthquake. As he goes for a close combat, he's going to do about 50-60%. Solid chip right there. And I'm just going to be taking this thing out right now because it is a threat and I don't want it on my field. It's also the last turn of the game, so we already know what's going to happen. I'm going to take down this Infernape, and I'm going to win this game 2-0. Garchomp coming through. It actually picked up, I want to say, 2 or 3 kills this game. It actually did, like, really well, honestly. But that is GG. Good game to my man Xilicks. It was a very good game, in my opinion. I think it was very close. Honestly, had I not gone for Icy Wind that one turn, and had I not ran double Shucka, I honestly think he might have won this game. It was very close. Came down to some key plays. But yeah, we are now 2-2 at the point of that battle, and I am -2, I believe. Make sure I did that right. I'm either -2 or -3. My week 5 game is versus Bloody Skarmory, someone I have a very long history with, and it's a very long story. But let's just say the only times we've played, one time it was a very close game that came down to me not having checks to his 2 main mons because my team sucked. Second time it came down to a bunch of hacks on one of my mons. And the last time we played, I lost from turn 9 because of a Meteor Mash miss and a burn from a flamethrower. I have full intentions of winning my week 5 game, and I honestly just can't wait to let y'all see that one. But yeah, that is GG, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.